This is Danny from Baltimore, Maryland, representing one of the 6 Wolves fans in Baltimore. You're listening to DU Football Show.
Yep, that's right. Danny, one of the lone Wolves fans in all of Baltimore, bringing us in. Well, Sammy, we got to play some golf this week.
We did.
Even more importantly, we had live sports this weekend.
Yes, we did. Golf, amongst other things.
Including the running of the birds. But you know what, Sam? With all that being said, let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Huston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by 2 common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the internet is the lovely Mr. Samuel Graham, the belated birthday boy. How you doing, Sammy?
Not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Very good, very good. Another year older, huh?
Yeah, another year older. Don't feel a day over 65.
Good. Are you using the Zoom to pick your teeth? Is that what we're doing right now to start the show? We are coming in hot. Wow. We're recording live at Studio H just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and most importantly, share with your friends. And he's showing off the pen that he was using to pick his teeth with. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Debris-free Sam, would you mind go ahead and telling the people how they can get in touch?
Sure. Now that I can actually speak without that pepper in my teeth, you can get in touch with us on all social media platforms at DUfootballshow and DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Which people have been doing. Very happy to see that. And hopefully throughout this time of COVID, you've noticed we have gone out of our way to give you guys as much content as humanly possible. Doing the Beekness Stakes this weekend on DUFC, the running of the chickens, and lots of extra bonus shows, and certainly not really caring if we go an hour or two on our Patreon as well, which has been very nice. So.
Yep, and you can make sure to check out that Patreon page, www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow, where you'll find actually this Zoom video that we've been doing throughout the entire lockdown, I guess you call it, as well as Injury Time, which is our regular extra show per week, and some other cool bonus content.
Like watching Big Sam throw a fit last week, like a 5-year-old petulant boy.
That was worth every dollar to our subscribers, and they are literally paying to watch Graham pick his teeth.
Yeah.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirits industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Sammy, what are you sipping on today?
I am sipping on Glenfiddich 12-year-old. Tried and true classic.
Yeah, I was about to say tried and true, baby.
Yep. From the Speyside region, you're coming in at 83 proof, I believe. I didn't bring the bottle down. I'm pretty sure it's 83 proof. And you're going to be able to find it for about $59.99, sorry, on the shelf. I had to do the math real quick. I can only think of the wholesale cost.
Well, yeah, and also, unfortunately, that used to be a little bit cheaper, but good old tariffs fucked with Scottish whiskey in particular pretty badly as well at the end of this calendar year.
Single malt, yeah. Yep, that's killed us. But just excellent. You get lots of notes of pear, honeysuckle. It's very light against the Speyside whiskey, not peated at all. But very good. Just everything a Speyside whiskey should be. This ticks every box.
Wasn't Fiddick the first brand to put an age statement on the bottle back like in the 70s, yes. I want to say?
Yes, they were. 1968, I believe it was. They came over with a 10-year-old Glenfiddich, which then became a 12-year-old as their flagship. So
I'm going to go ahead and make a movie reference. I know you're not going to get, Sam, so I'll go ahead and look to you, producer Mel. Get me a Glen, and if you tell the bartender to go easy on the water, this 50-cent piece has got your name written all over it, sweetheart.
Who's a big winner?
Mikey. Mikey's a big winner.
winner.
Yay, Mikey.
Dude, that was so money. No, it wasn't. You're an asshole. That was so money. She's going to go back and tell one of her honeys, and then we're going to go off, and it'll be fun. It'll be so money.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, sweetheart, this guy right here, he's the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
You're such an asshole.
Sam, do you have any idea what movie that is?
No, I didn't see anything that Groucho Marx starred in back in the 40s.
Very good. It's Swingers from the 90s. And I mean, I tell you,
Jon Favreau was an actor.
Yeah, I mean, yes, exactly. Mandalorian, Mr. Favreau, that would be Mikey. But also, if I had any faith that you would finally watch Tombstone, I'd tell you to go watch Swingers. But you're already a lost cause. So, all righty, kids, let's go ahead and get into the show.
All right, guys, here we go.
Try that again. Still wasn't very good.
It's these cheap glasses.
Yeah, cheap glasses do not work out well. Half full with bourbon and ginger.
Half empty.
There you go.
That's true. All right, Sam, we finally had live football this weekend. Now, granted, it was the Bundesliga, and it was the German variety of football, and it was Fox Sports, which we really despise, but it didn't really seem to matter because we had live football to watch. First thing right off the jump before we even make comments about it, was this everybody's blueprint, Sam, to restart their seasons?
I believe so, except for the leagues, obviously, that have already decided to end it, like Holland and so the Eredivisie and the Scottish Premiership.
Didn't France also conclude theirs as well? France, too.
Yes, France did as well. The other thing about France is there's not supposed to be professional sports gatherings at all, anything, in the country until September. And UEFA's come out and said that they're going to finish the European competitions in August.
And didn't PSG already advance?
Yep. So they're going to have to play their
games.
home game. Yeah, they're going to have to play their home games
and
at a neutral venue in a different country.
And Lyon's got a replay with Juve, is it?
They've got the second leg with Juve, which actually the second leg was due to be at Juventus anyway. So they would just play in Italy.
But then after that, they have to worry about it. And also you then have to wonder about the teams being allowed back in the country. If you're shutting down that hard, are you going to allow teams to come back into the country, coming from Italy or other countries in Europe as well? So,
right. Which that part there hasn't been a lot of guidance on.
I pretty much figured that all of the FA and all the owners in the English Premier League were sitting there with clipboards and writing down everything the German league did. And then they're going to hand in a proposal to the National Health Service, probably within a week, that will say, yeah, what Germany did.
Yeah, basically. They're going to have to hand in a proposal by the end of the week, period, because they have to let UEFA know what they're going to do by next Monday.
I believe I read today that they have voted that they want to complete the season, that all the teams finally voted today. Yes, we are going to complete the season. Still did fuck all. I mean, not like they haven't had 3 fucking weeks of meetings and all they have concluded is, I think we're going to play. I think we're going to play. Yes, we're going to play. That's what they've gotten done so far.
Yeah, so I have exactly what came out here. If you want to go through that kind of stuff real quick.
Please do. Please do.
All right, so training in small groups is going to be allowed as the first batch of tests come back around 2 p.m. today, Tuesday.
Okay.
Tomorrow, we're recording Monday night, peek behind the curtain. So 2 p.m. Tuesday, the first batch of tests come back. You still must remain socially distant. You still have to no contact at all. The league is to resume as of now, which they have to remain flexible on, but the league is to resume on June 12th. That's the idea. But players' fitness is going to be taken into consideration. So if they can't move to phase 2 of restart, which is contact training, then they can't start games yet. So they'll have to be flexible on that date. So the idea is to have at least 2 weeks worth of full training before they go back. Now, the protocols for full contact training are still to be decided upon. The potential for isolation for 2 weeks prior to full contact is on the table. So they would need to rent out essentially an empty hotel for each team and be completely isolated for 2 weeks prior to full training resuming. That still has to be agreed upon.
Real quick, Sam, just to interrupt real fast. They did decide last week. Was it last week that they finally decided they are going to play at their respective stadiums, no matter what? They aren't going. I remember that being a thing. I don't know if it's official.
Yeah, they're going to try not to go the way of neutral venues. Yes,
got it.
But that part is still to be determined. That's part of the full resuming of the league still needs to be determined.
Got it. Sorry to cut you off while you were doing your list there.
No, you're good. I just lost my place in the list. Premier League clubs, you're good. Yeah, Premier League clubs, doctors, the government, and health officials all do agree on stage one. So trainers players at the training ground remaining socially distant, and there's other certain protocols that go in with that, and I'd like to read those to you now. Okay. Disinfecting all training equipment, including balls, at the training ground. Delivering training kits to players so they can arrive ready to train, so they don't have to go to the changing room. Marking out designated parking spaces for players with gaps of 3 between each car.
Very fair.
Well, which asshole gets stuck at the end of the parking lot? I think egos are going to be hurt when they decide to mark these out.
They can get the fuck over that. Something I noticed going off of what Germany did during the games. A few things. First off, the balls. They had balls laid out all around the outside of the field of the pitch, and they had ball boys and ball girls. They all had to be at least 16 to 18 years old, because the requirement is every time a ball came off the pitch and they went and got it, they were to wipe it down with a sanitation, like a Clorox wipe. And I mean, there was literally, you could see at the stadiums, there was a ball every 5 feet all the way around the stadium. Just everywhere there was a fucking ball.
Well, do you know what part of that was? Is they didn't want anybody going up into the stands.
Right. Yep.
To retrieve balls at all. So if a ball got cleared into, row Z,
gone. Who cares?
That ball's just gone. Yeah, fuck it. That ball's just out. We'll get that after the game and clean it ourselves.
Although
they needed all those balls everywhere, so they didn't run out of them.
Interesting thing that they did with the stands, though, Sam, was if you notice the benches, there was only, normally the professional soccer teams have these cool looking seats. They're normally sponsored by a car company like Audi or something like that, right? And that's what everybody sits in their little bench area. There were 2 seats. There was one for the coach, one for the assistant head coach. The first row of seating in the stands was cleared out. All the chairs were taken out, and then they put in 6 feet apart from each other those individual car seats for the entire bench of each team. So they were all 6 feet apart from each other in the front row of the stands, all out of the way. So if you had to come up, you had to come through the stands and come onto the field through where the fans would come onto the field.
Yep. The other thing too, I noticed with the assistant coaches on the bench, people that were sitting on the proper benches.
Yeah. Trainers and the assistant.
All had masks. The only person that did not was the head coach.
And even the head coaches, for the most part, kept masks on unless they walked into the coach's box, and then you'd see them take the mask off and start yelling. Hold on one second. Mel wanted to say something.
I just got to say, at some point, is this just virtue signaling? Because they're rubbing up against each other on the field. They're breathing on each other on the field. It's impossible.
Actually, very interesting.
Are they not? Okay.
No. Sports science has broken it down. This is I found this fascinating. They broke it down. The amount of time that there is actual physical contact, body to body contact, it's less than 0.3 of a second.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, no, serious. Sports scientists during the COVID have been studying, like watching games, studying the amount of time that there's actual contact of players.
I'm just thinking about the breathing and the spitting and like, you're going after a ball and the spittle and the breath coming out and the person going through it and inhaling it. It just
you're absolutely right. Everybody's getting temperature tested as they're walking in. And trust me, the minute one pops, it's all gone. Yeah. It's all gone.
I feel like all this, like the parking lot and the distance in the stands and all of that is just virtue signaling, isn't it?
In a way, yes, but there needs to be extra levels of safety and security just to get to this point. And frankly, let's face it, there's two reasons why this needs to be done. One is money.
Yeah.
It's absolutely money. And I get that. And there's a lot of proponents out there. And I've listened to multiple podcasts where people have been like, the only reason why they're doing this is for money. And it's just god awful, blah, 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 blah. Well, then there's part two. Our fucking sanity. Fucking sanity. Like, you know what? It was nice to wake up this Saturday morning and watch fucking sports. It was nice. If I got to be stuck in my house all the fucking time, if all I could do is go out to get groceries and that's it, and I'm fucking stuck here, can I at least watch some sports? I will
say you were in a better mood.
It means everything, right, Sam?
Absolutely. So the other thing about the sports scientist, in a normal football match, give or take a second or two, I think the total number was 18 seconds per game people were in physical contact. And they weren't in physical contact long enough to contract the disease to the best of their knowledge currently in the way the disease is transmitted.
I mean, you think about
what that means, I don't fucking know. Well, that's what they said.
You think about it like a jersey grab. You grab a jersey quick and you let go of it quick. You grab it to get the advantage and you let go of it so the ref doesn't see that you did it. Bumping into a player is very quick. It's not like you two are going shoulder to shoulder all the way down the sideline trying to push each other. It's a quick bump. That's it.
Yeah, all it takes is for you to like face palm a guy accidentally and then wipe the sweat off your face for it to be over.
Absolutely, but I also I don't see a lot of that happening.
No, but here's the other thing: the disease just doesn't manifest itself. All these people have to have it. Somebody has to have it to be able to give it. And the German league has done better than anybody in testing their players, period. So the players, if they don't have it, the disease just doesn't become created because two people knocked into each other.
Right.
Well, obviously. Yeah.
Right. So if the whole league's been tested and everyone's negative, as long as they follow the protocols outside of the games, right, then it should be completely safe to play. Completely safe to play. Shouldn't be an issue. They also, which annoyed the piss out of me, because yes, you're bumping around, you're doing this, that, the other. Elbow bumps all game. Shake the hand. You've already done it.
Mel brought up a great point. Actually, Mel brought up a great point this weekend. I'll go ahead and let her say it. It's actually fantastic.
Well, I was thinking about when Tegan elbow bumped me on the way out, and I had coughed earlier into my elbow. Now, it was a different elbow, but I was thinking about that. We're coughing into the elbows, and we're then bumping it with other people, and then coughing into the elbows.
We're all doing the elbow bumps into the elbows we cough into.
Yeah.
It'd be safer to actually say
cough into your elbow. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Was there anything else from the FA there? Let's get that kind of wrapped up.
So allocating players to different groups of 4 or 5 in which they will train on designated pitches. So 4 or 5 people, 6 feet apart, on a separate part of the pitch by themselves, just knocking a ball around, maybe playing keep away or something like that.
And for all of our listeners in America, like going to say like Finch Farm for Everton, this is like a major soccer complex. So this is like what you see in youth leagues where there's like a big, huge grandstand area, and then there's like a small arena field, and then like 20 fields around it. That's what these complexes are like. So if they want to separate the fuck out of their teams, they could separate the fuck out of their teams big time.
Yep. Drawing up lists of staggered arrival times for different players.
Smart.
And drawing up lists of club employees who will be allowed at the training ground, period. So some people still not allowed to show up. And then education. Players must be aware of the strict rules which will be in place for phase 1. And that means no tackling or spitting on the pitch and maintaining social distance from everyone else. Many players are believed to be encouraged by what they saw in Germany over the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for the most part. It sounds like the players are on board.
Yeah,
I would certainly say the players probably don't have much choice in the matter.
No, right, absolutely. The other thing they stressed at least 4 times in the article I found, everyone is stressing the games will only go forward if it's safe and appropriate, and that while these phase 1 training guidelines have been approved, no physical plan has been presented to the government or health officials for stage 2 or the resumption of games.
That needs to be done this week. They need to get it done and vote on something on Monday. I know they're now saying mid-June. That really hurts them because then that means now fortunately Germany's already doing something so they can see how to do it, but they're going to have to double up games. They're going to have to do a Wednesday, Sunday game. Now, Germany, the way they're doing it is everybody played this weekend, everybody's going to play next weekend, and then everybody's playing either Wednesday or Thursday after that. So the first 2 weeks are full weeks for them, but then they're going to start going to the double up games on the week. Now, but that also comes into play is what the fuck are you going to do with Champions League? When is Champions League starting up? If it starts in July, that's definitely going to affect the English teams, where it won't affect Germany because Germany will be done by then.
That's what I'm saying about what I said about UEFA. So their plan is to finish the 2 European competitions in August. So everybody would have to be done by August so they can resume those cup competitions.
Right.
Now, that being said, do they travel?
No.
How is that going to be worked out? Or do they all go to Germany and then just play the tournament out in Germany?
Yeah, that I don't know because, well, let's see here. What countries are left? Spain, who's going to be plans on restarting their league. England, who plans on restarting their league. Germany, who has already restarted their league. Italy, who plans on restarting their league. And France, who has canceled their league, right? There isn't a Portuguese team still left, is there? I think they're all out.
I believe they're out also, except for Wolves.
Yeah, for Europa, yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Actually, you were breaking up a ton there, so I thought you were still talking Champions League. I didn't realize you were talking Europa League. You're absolutely right. Europa is going to be a fucking nightmare because that's every fucking country in Europe, and I think they're gonna have to figure out neutral venues and just kind of get teams there and get them out, and then get them back in and get them out. I think that's what they're gonna have to do.
Yeah. So how you make those travel arrangements? Well, like you said, with the French team, will they allow their players to come back after playing in another country? That affects both the Champions League and the Europa League. And say you're Lyon or say you're PSG, you got to eventually go to Atletico Madrid and they're playing and you're not. I'd play that under protest, right? I'd lodge an appeal or a complaint with UEFA that this isn't fair.
Yeah, but then Russia could go, hey, we're not allowed to play in the winter because I don't know, snow, and so fuck you guys. We change our schedule to deal with that kind of shit all the time.
That was it.
Okay, very good. So getting into just your impressions of the weekend. I know some people have said that it felt stale without the fans. Honestly, I think all that was missing was noise. Like, I felt like the games were lively. I was paying attention to the match. There just weren't songs being sung. And there was echoing.
Yeah.
That was it. Some people were like, oh, it felt so hollow. And I'm like, no, not really.
Well,
felt like fucking football to me because the FC Cologne versus Minsk game was fucking phenomenal. That was a great fucking match. The 2-2 draw on Sunday morning, that was a great fucking game.
The other thing, a lot less complaining to the referee.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I thought it was two of the most. I watched both Dortmund and Schalke on Saturday and the Cologne-Mainz game on Sunday. And I felt like they were two of the best refereed games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have 70,000 people screaming at you to change your mind. or influencing your decision or what have you.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that drama and that emotion and intensity, yes, I missed it, but having football back in general, it meant more to me than that. I didn't give a shit.
Well,
At
also,
all. And those people that complained about that and the cavernous sounding stadium, yes, it was odd, but at that point, you're just looking for something to complain about. Piss off.
well, and I also think that NBC Sports will probably have better coverage. They will certainly have better commentary. You know, I mean, Fox's commentary back when they had the English Premier League sucked. And you know what they did when they picked up the Bundesliga? Kept the same fucking guys. It still fucking sucks. It's not very good. So
I don't care for it either.
They're not particularly witty. They don't really tell a very good game. I mean, like, kind of a baseball reference. Miller used to be with the Orioles for a little while, but's been a long time Giants guy and was the Sunday Night Baseball with Harold Baines forever and ever on ESPN. That's the kind of guy you could listen to call a game. You could just close your eyes and not even watch the television screen, and you knew everything that was happening.
Yeah.
You have that with Arlo doing a game for NBC Sports. I mean, he's poetic. And the Fox guys just, they're not. They're not very good.
No.
They aren't good. So I think there'd be a difference in that as well. The only thing I want to mention about Dortmund and Schalke is that felt really way too close to home. Felt very much like Everton going to Liverpool at Anfield and getting their asses kicked 4-0. Schalke wears blue. Schalke had a couple of Americans. Schalke had an Everton loanee there. Dortmund, Klopp used to manage. Oh, it felt lost 4-0. He kind of, I was just watching it and I could just feel myself slowly, my soul being sucked out of the game as I'm just watching going, oh, look at Dortmund scoring all these amazing goals. This feels way too much like a Merseyside derby at Anfield.
Well, I won some money on it. So.
Very good. Good for you. Well, you proud of yourself?
Thank you.
I mean,
I am.
You've got that look on your face of just, you know, well, first off, your face is all up in the camera, but it's just you being like smug and like, look at me. I'm so important.
Ojit, this chair sucks. We've been through this. I have to sit on the edge of it or you can't see me.
So one final thought before we get into our next topic here is apparently the FA has come out and said they are going to figure out a way to do a celebration for Liverpool's title amongst all the COVID problems because, quote, they deserve it. They haven't won the title yet. Has the FA just given the kiss of death to fucking Liverpool, Sam?
No, not a chance.
You sure? Because that just screams Gerard slip all over it. Like,
yeah, but
that just
at this
screams
point,
them tanking like 5 in a row.
Take off your blue-colored glasses for a second. That would mean Gerard slipping 7 fucking times in a row.
It would be funny, though.
And they still have Brighton on the cards, too. Like, come on. It's not going to – Liverpool's going to win the title.
Oh, that's right. Brighton can't actually win a game either.
Right. What I thought was funny is something else came out about in Scotland, too, about them giving Celtic the title and the official cancellation of the league coming. And them – some Celtic fans wondering how the parade's going to go. And somebody put forth the suggestion of a socially distanced open-top bus parade. Like 3 or 4 players per open-top bus.
And have like 10 buses? Because, yeah, that's great for the environment.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Let's just instead...
Or the crowd there that's going to watch it. It's not the players, it's the crowd.
Right, so here's the thing. No, the crowd would be distanced too, and you just stretch out the parade route. So here's the deal, right?
Glasgow
all
ain't that fucking
work.
big.
Look, I know, I've been there. Listen, all that good work that we've done for the environment by everyone staying home, undo it in one championship parade.
Yep,
Completely
exactly.
fuck it all off. Yeah, and when the ozone's repaired, dolphins are swimming in the canals of Venice. Fuck all that.
20
4 players per bus. Yeah.
20 open tops going 25 miles because they need to stretch it the fuck out.
Love it. Love everything about it.
Sammy, I actually was not going to bring up this topic. I was figuring on using it for Patreon, but first, my wife mentions it to me. Then Otis Anderson sends us a messenger about it. And then we get from Taylor and Simon on Facebook talking about it. So I guess we got to talk about it. Apparently, fuck dolls in the stands of FC Seoul's fucking game in the K-League, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw this happen and immediately wanted to talk about it on the main show because that's what we do here at Drunken United Football Show. We bring you the weird, wacky, while still bringing you the X's and O's.
Yes.
Both tactically and romantically, apparently. So here's how it went down. I finally broke down last Thursday and watched a K-League baseball game.
Okay.
And I thought it was funny, cute. You know, behind home plate, they had cardboard cutouts. But
Right.
baseball, being the lovely, wholesome sport that it is, was just a cardboard cutout. Now we get to the fanatical, thuggish football aspect of this situation. And FC Seoul had sex dolls, sex mannequins, in the stands, socially distanced, by the way.
Yes.
Sex dolls in the stands at their stadium against whoever the hell it was they were playing. Doesn't matter. That's not the story. Now,
I
press
thought they
conference.
I thought they were like realistic mannequins. They weren't, quote, sex dolls.
Now, there's the thing. So the very first press conference afterwards, they were asked about
There's
dolls
the
in
rub.
stands.
You don't say, producer Mel.
So in the first press conference, they said they aren't sex dolls. They're premium mannequins.
Premium mannequins.
Love that term. Then, after a lot of backlash on Twitter and Facebook and the like, they had to come out and say, okay, fine. These premium mannequins came from a factory, a supplier that makes sex dolls.
But they're not sex dolls.
So, but they're not sex dolls, though, because we covered up the mouth.
Right. The big blowjob mouth with the mask. Yes.
Yeah, where you put your dong in after you spray some olive oil on it. And not that I would know how to use one.
Sounds exactly like you know how to use one, Sam Graham.
What I did hear is that as Heung-min Son was landing in London this morning, they did stop him for extra questioning at customs.
Oh, what? How did he break his arm?
No, yeah. He had an unusually large carry-on, from what I heard. That may have had one with accentuated big lips on it.
Now, see, Mel, I like what he tried to do there to bring in Son into it so that I would ignore the fact that Sam knows this much about sex dolls and what he's trying to bury the lead. But we all now know Sam Graham owns a Korean sex doll.
I do not. However, I believe the use of them are pretty self-explanatory if you have just a hint of debauchery in your personality, which I do.
Again, sounds like Sam Graham owns a Korean sex doll.
No, I don't think
Once
he
again?
owns one. I just think he's had access to one.
Oh, even worse, that means secondhand.
I'm sure it's possible to sanitize them.
Oh, well, let's ask the authoritative source.
Second-use sex doll any worse than a second-use prostitute?
All right, Sam Graham, explain.
I own a premium mannequin. I don't own a sex doll.
Is it like China, where you remember the story, Mel, from John Oliver? They were talking about how because they were. Remember, China was limiting the amount of children you could have. And if you had a boy first, you could have a second kid. But if you had a girl, you couldn't have a second kid. Well, it had reached a point where the male population was so much more dominant than the female population that men can't meet women. There's not enough women to meet. So on John Oliver, they were talking about men that were fucking dating sex dolls. Because that was how they could have a woman.
Here we just call them insane.
Yes.
For having a relationship with an inanimate object.
I mean, yeah, it's true. We do talk about them behind their back, in front of their back, on Facebook, on Twitter. I just don't see what the big deal is about. They wanted to fill the crowds. They had access to all these wonderful plastic and pleather. What is that? What do you call that material that's the doll's made out of?
I have no idea.
Like it's some sort of like soft foam. I don't know. I'm picturing like leather covered. I don't know how it would feel.
No, it would probably be a silicone.
Probably some kind of
That's the
silicone
word
or
I was looking
synthetic. Yeah.
for.
Yeah, definitely. But here's the thing.
I thought it was
it's better for the
creative use.
environment.
Yeah.
It's better for the environment than a bunch of cardboard cutouts or plastic figurines. They have a second use as long as the players didn't get to them after the match was over. And all I want to say is I'm all for it, and it's absolutely fantastic.
I think it's great. Wouldn't you pay extra?
That was terrible, Dad joke.
I'm walking all over it. Wouldn't you pay extra for a sex doll that had some culture and went out to some games, and therefore you had something in common with her?
There you go.
And it wasn't just hers. I did see some male sex dolls in the stands.
There it is.
FC Clone this weekend took a section in the upper deck, and they had people send in their jerseys and shirts of the team, and they put them around the chairs up in the upper deck in a design that was like the FC was in white and the rest was done in red. That's
Stupid.
Doesn't need to be a fuck doll.
Think about this. Buy the jersey for $50, and then you get the jersey and the doll for $350. No brainer. I think it's a great deal.
Actually, I figured out what it is. The Korean government has realized they're looking at the English Premier League where everybody keeps throwing orgies or lap dance parties or whatever. What they're going to do is they're going to just go ahead and put sex dolls in the stands so the players can just take one home with them and they ain't got to worry about the whole orgy and all that kind of stuff. That's probably exactly what they're doing.
I don't think it was a big deal.
There you go.
Oh.
You know, the other thing, I would take this opportunity and stage things, not with sex dolls necessarily, but with proper mannequins. And stage like historical events happening in the stands, like Attila the Hun, conquering something, or I think it'd be fantastic.
So now you're slut shaming these poor working mannequins.
All right, Sam, let's go ahead and keep this last one really short and sweet. It'd probably be a minute or two at the most. But our buddy Brad from Crystal Palace DC had tweeted this story to me, and I thought it was worth bringing up to you, considering that directly involves you. In a recent interview with Unai Emery, apparently during the transfer window this past year at the start of the season, Arsenal were given the opportunity to get Wilfried Zaha at $60 million. And what Unai Emery said is that I wanted someone that had experience in the English Premier League, understood the league. We chatted. He was on board. He was excited about coming to the team. And then at the last minute, I was told, no, we're signing Nicolas Pepe. It's not your decision. Interesting to kind of hear that. That doesn't typically seem to be Arsenal's move, Sam.
No, it's not. But if you want my opinion, I would say good move.
Okay.
Number one, if there was a Premier League manager that fucked a fuck doll before, it's definitely Unai Emery with them jacked up ass teeth he has. Number two, this season, Wilfried Zaha is a good player. I don't think he's great. He's inconsistent. He gets focused on because he's the best player in a small pond. When he went to Manchester United, he wasn't up to snuff. So he got sold again.
He was also 19, 20 years old at that time, too.
Okay. All right. So I'll give you his Premier League goals by year. 14-15, 4 goals. 15-16, 2. 16-17, 7. 17-18, 9. 18-19, just 10. And 19-20 so far this year, he only has 3.
Okay.
That ain't that great.
All right.
So he's the best player on a small team. He would not have fit in at the club. His ego is too big, in my opinion. Nicolas Pepe also has more goals than he does this year, albeit few and far between.
Well, also Nicolas Pepe likes to take. They give him penalties too. So let's look at his stats as being padded because he's been given penalties.
He's been given 2 penalties.
Okay.
And we don't have anyone on Arsenal like Milivojevic. If they didn't have Milivojevic, it would be Zaha.
And then Zaha's numbers over the last 4 years would be greatly padded then. And then your argument would be null and void because he'd have over 10 goals every single season.
Right. Well, but he's only scored 10 once, and he's that great of a player. Only 10 goals from open play one time in his career.
I still think the experience would have probably been very beneficial to Arsenal personally.
I don't agree with you.
Instead, you decided to go with your...
for 60 million. Not for 60 million. No way.
But
for an extra 12 million over the span of 8 years, we got 5 goals already, plus a few in the Europa League.
I was going to say, your 14-year payment plan on Nicolas Pepe?
I told you, Arsenal's now Eastern Motors, man.
Your job's your credit, baby.
Second chance credit.
It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. So, Sammy, your bet hit?
It did. I had Dortmund to win over 2.5 goals.
Yeah, very good. Well done. Well done.
They won 4-0. Yep.
I still can't be bothered. I know. So we got actually, guess who is back on the bus?
Pat, I heard.
Yes.
And now it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's pick of the week.
All's not quiet on the gambling front. So a quick look, and look what I found. We have some televised gambling action coming to me this Saturday. That's right, Bundesliga soccer, boys and girls. You clearly didn't realize that there was Bundesliga soccer this past weekend. 9:30 a.m. on FS1, Wolfsburg versus Borussia Dortmund. I'll take the favorite because I know nothing. Dortmund is minus a half a point at minus 150, so I'm going to ride the 150 to win 100. I'll see you boys on the course on Sunday. Looks like good weather. Bring some extra green with you because we might be getting some Nassau involved, which you and I both already speculated at.
Yeah, I thought a Skins game was coming.
Well, that, boys and girls, will be discussed on Injury Time. We will go ahead and talk about the three of us, myself, Sam, and our degenerate gambling friend Pat, finally playing a round of golf together.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm just glad to see that he's come to his senses and gotten himself out of that big dark hole that he was sitting in and found a game to bet on.
You know what it was? He was off today, went to the dentist. He got drilled on. So it's all the Novocaine. All he could do was sit around his house and Google shit.
Oh, so he Googled sports and went, hey, there's sports now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
All right.
I texted him earlier to play darts, and he was like, can't. I'm fucked up.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Sammy, the Belarusian League, it was here, and then it was gone.
Big Sam's Proxy. Taylor's Lock of the Week.
Swearing off the breast for good. 1 goal. 1 fucking goal at home against a team that is bottom of the table. Apparently, that was too much to ask for breast to complete this week's parlay. That leaves me up a measly $74, which is way more than... Well, now, actually, you're doing well in this fake betting, aren't you, Sam?
I've won 6 out of 7 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry. That's all going to change in mid-June. And with crap like this and better leagues now in play, I'm going to be like Graham and say Das Vidanya to the Belarus League. To Belarus and the league they wrote in on. Sorry, I messed up what he wrote there. My apologies. And now I'm turning my
PG County reading skills.
Yeah.
We done? I am just going to say real quick. We haven't put in Whiskey's new hit the mute button sound, but it'll be there soon, and I'll be asking you to push it a lot. If you've listened to the end of our show, you already know it. All right, and now I'm turning my football procrastinating skills to prognosticating. How about I say the word correctly? Thank you very much. Skills to the Bundesliga. This week, I like RB Leipzig as they travel to face Mainz on Sunday. I've got 100 on Red Bull to win, with total goals being less than 3.5. For this, I'm getting plus 160. Given that RB Leipzig is owned by Red Bull, I'm hoping this bet gives me wings. Thanks again, guys. And remember, 75% of the time, it just doesn't fucking work at all. Thank you very much, Taylor. Well done. I know what Taylor was doing in there. He was throwing a whole lot of big words in there to trip me up, to make me fuck up, and he succeeded a little. And then I started abbreviating his fucking post. Remember.
Yeah.
Hold on. Real quick, Sam.
Sorry.
Real quick. This is a moment between myself and Taylor. Taylor, I created you. I could destroy you just as easily.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Nothing but love for you, Mr. P1. Go ahead, Sam.
I was going to say, with all the way you screwed up American, I wasn't even going to tell you that you messed up Mainz and Leipzig.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll worry about the foreign words when you get American correct.
Okay. Well, you know what, Sam? I'll remember that the next time you do a transfer window.
Yeah.
We already know I'm the name assassin.
That's right. All right. My bet now?
Maybe.
All right. So, contrary to what Taylor said, I am going back to Belarus. But I'm going to parlay it with old Deutschland.
Okay.
So, I am back on the Slutsk because they are playing one very deflated Brest. So I've got FC Slutsk to beat Brest and then Dortmund to beat Wolfsburg at plus 294.
I just want to let you know this weekend I had a conversation with Taylor on Messenger, and one of the things he said, he goes, watch Graham bet the Brest versus Slutsk derby. He was like, Sam's going to do it.
Yep.
The only other part that he got wrong is that he had you definitely betting Bayern again just because it was an easy bet.
No, I bet Borussia Dortmund last week.
Oh, okay. I thought he said you bet. No, I think he thought you bet Bayern, but yeah, it was Dortmund.
No, I was just asking to listen to the show a little closer.
No, I might have gotten it wrong. He may have said you were going to bet Dortmund again. So that's probably on me.
Well, if that dig didn't hit, it's your fault.
Okay, no problem. Well, Sammy, we haven't heard that horn in quite a while. But
I know, right?
Figure we'll take a quick second to chat about this. When our governor decided to lift the shelter in place order, apparently he, Soccer Dome thought we're all going to start playing indoor again.
Right.
Wrong. So wrong. Okay, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, supposedly they think we're going to play again. They still have us down for Tuesday the 26th of May to restart. It's still on here.
Well, you have fun playing because you ain't going to have a coach. I ain't coming.
No, I don't think I am either. We're just going to have to see what happens here. And hopefully Howard County is smart and closes it down. So we'll see.
Well, I know each of the counties have different restrictions, and Howard County was enforcing a stricter law. So who knows what Soccer Dome thinks they're going to get away with. You know what's not going to happen? DU playing fucking soccer there. That's what's not going to happen.
Yeah, so we have an update on the homepage. Tomorrow they will determine if they're able to reopen facilities on Wednesday, May 20th for rentals only. Groups of 10 or less. Check back tomorrow at 10 a.m. So it's supposed to be updated Tuesday the 19th, and they're supposed to let us know.
Yeah, we ain't going to play.
I'll see. Yeah. No. Nah, I don't think so.
Bunch of grown-ass men, we'll take the forfeit. Go ahead, give us a forfeit. We'll come back when we feel it's safe.
You know what else is beautiful about the forfeit is we'll go down to League Two. Yeah.
We could probably use old Hump Buster in League Two. That's for damn sure.
Yep. Use it, get some confidence back, some fitness back.
About wraps it up, Sam. Any parting words? As I cough into the microphone.
My goodness. I actually don't have any parting words this week. Other than thank you for those of you that reached out for my birthday on yesterday, on the 17th. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I will now pass it across to Sam, who did not go over his whiskey. I don't think.
Oh,
Did you?
no, I never. No, I just said I was drinking Old Grandad and Ginger because I talked about it on the show. I thought I did. I just didn't say much about it. I might not have, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think you did.
I already wrote it down, but I also knew we were drinking it, so I wasn't listening for it.
Yeah, I'm just drinking bourbon.
Y'all went straight into your little, 1920s silent film thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just drinking plain old Grandad because we were talking about doing Grandad and Gingers a few weeks back when we did our Whiskeys of the EPL show. So I went ahead and decided to buy some old Grandad and do a Whiskey and Ginger, which is now empty, that needs to be filled for injury time. Sam,
What'd that cost you?
God, it's like a $17 bottle.
All
Inexpensive.
right, and what proof is it?
80 proof, Sam.
All right, next time I'll go ahead and write you some notes.
Somebody's balls dropped.
It's not like we waited 20 minutes for him.
That's a whole nother fucking story.
That's an injury time story.
Sam doesn't have any parting words today. Why? Because nobody died.
Fred Willard died. I was waiting
Oh,
for the
yeah,
dedication.
in memory.
Fred Willard died. I did forget.
Yes.
It should happen on Thursday. There's been so much going on since then.
Alrighty, kids. Next up is injury time. More of the same. Normally we preview the next week's action, but there's no fucking action to preview. But we are going to sit around and run our mouths and get drunk and probably act more stupid than we already have. So check out our Patreon page. Sam, how do people do that?
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow. Patreon is Patreon.
Excellent. Until next week, everybody.
Adios.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United! Hit the fucking mute button!